Friends from the media, good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference. I'd like to take your questions.
谢谢发言人。北京青年报记者提问：据报道，8日正在巴拿马访问的。
It's reported that during his visit to Panama, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said on April 8th that China's control of critical infrastructure in the Panama Canal area gave Beijing the power to conduct spying activities across Panama, making Panama and the U.S. less secure, less prosperous, and less sovereign. He said that the U.S. will not allow Communist China or any other country to threaten the canal's operation or integrity. What is China's comment? The U.S. senior official maliciously attacked China and vilified and sabotaged China-Panama cooperation, which once again lays bare America's bullying and hegemony. China firmly opposes it. It is so clear for all to see who wants to control the Panama Canal. The U.S. should take a hard look in the mirror to find out who is threatening other countries' sovereignty, security, and development. China calls on the U.S. to stop spreading rumors and making trouble, and stop linking China to the Panama Canal with ill intention to find an excuse for America's own control over the canal. Meanwhile, let me stress that compromise and concession does not bring sovereignty and respect, but will only embolden the bully. Next one, please.
Question for Anadolu Agency.
阿纳多卢通讯社，美国将对中国商品征收104%的关税。白宫发言人认为，特朗普总统认为中国必须达成协议，并且报复是一个错误。那么，美国将继续提高关税，中方对此有何回应？
中国人民的。
We will not let anyone take away the Chinese people's legitimate right to development. We will not tolerate any attempt to harm China's sovereignty, security, and development interests. We will continue to take resolute and strong measures to safeguard our legitimate rights and interests. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。湖北广电记者提问：据报道，日本政府4月8日发布2025年。
It was reported that the Japanese government issued the Diplomatic Blue Book 2025 on April 8th, which identified Japan's relations with China as one of the most important bilateral relationships for Japan, and said Japan will continue to promote the strategic relationship of mutual benefit and build constructive and stable relations with China. On the other hand, it still saw China as the biggest strategic challenge Japan has ever faced, and made groundless accusations regarding the situation in the East and the South China Seas, China-Russia military cooperation, the security of Japanese citizens in China. What is China's response? China noted this. Japan's diplomatic blue book for this year continued using the same old rhetoric to blame and vilify China, peddled the so-called China threat narrative, and interfered in China's internal affairs. China firmly rejects this. China and Japan are important close neighbors. The sound and steady development of the bilateral relations serves the fundamental interests of both countries and the peoples. We urge Japan to abide by the principles in the 4 political documents between China and Japan, have a right strategic perception of China, stop instigating and creating bloc confrontation, and act on its commitment of comprehensively advancing the China-Japan strategic relationship of mutual benefit, and build a constructive and stable China-Japan relationship fit for the new era. Next one, please.
Thank you. Question from AFP. I want to come back on.
法新社再问一下关税的问题。你说中国会坚决反制，那么能否具体举例说明？中国会采取什么措施？ 另外，特朗普总统称中方非常想达成一个协议，这是真的吗？中国是否会不再采取报复性的、针对性的措施呢？
美方
The U.S. is still abusing tariffs on China, pursuing maximum pressure. China firmly opposes and never accepts such hegemonic and bullying acts. If the U.S. truly wants to address issues through dialogue and negotiation, it should show the attitude of equality, respect, and mutual benefit. If the U.S. overlooks the interests of the two countries and the international community and is determined to fight a tariff and a trade war, China's response will continue to the end. Next one, please.
Thank you. Ukraine Foreign News Agency question on Russian invasion in the Ukraine issue.
乌通社，泽连斯基总统昨天称，乌克兰士兵在战斗前线与6名中国军人交战，其中2人被俘。这是乌克兰首次在其领土上抓获中国公民。那么他们是俄军的一部分。外交部能否解释中国公民为何参与了这场战争，并且为俄方作战？那么中方驻乌使馆是否正在试图与上述中国政府取得联系？China is verifying the information with the Ukrainian side. Let me stress that the Chinese government always asks Chinese nationals to stay away from areas of armed conflict, avoid any form of involvement in armed conflict, and in particular, avoid participation in any party's military operations. Next one, please.
新华社记者提问：当前世界经济
As the world economy faces severe challenges of rising unilateralism and a trade war looms large on the prospects of global recovery, certain countries' tariff policy makes the landscape of the world more uncertain. Meanwhile, we noted that China remains a strong magnet for foreign investment, as evidenced by the recent intensive visits by foreign business CEOs to China and the implementation of key projects. Some foreign media and the multinational senior executives said in plain words that leaving the Chinese market means letting go of a ticket to a decade economic growth. Optimism for China, upward revision to China's GDP growth forecasts, and more investment in China have been frequently mentioned by the international business sector, which speaks to the world's high expectation of the role of China's economy as an engine. What is your comment? No matter how the international landscape evolves, China's economy has a solid foundation and sufficient driving forces for steady and forward growth. With the strong leadership of the CPC Central Committee, the notable strength of socialism with the Chinese characteristics, a solid foundation underpinning sustained rapid development, a supersized market, a complete industrial system, and more importantly, the concerted efforts of the 1.4 billion people. China has the confidence and capability to address various risks and challenges. External shocks cannot change China's economic fundamentals with a stable foundation, numerous strength, remarkable resilience, and a vast potential, nor can they change the consistent trend of China's steady progress in pursuing high-quality development and robust growth of new quality productive forces. China's steady growth brings much-needed stability to the volatile world. China, the second-largest economy, has remained the key engine, contributing around 30% to the global economic growth for years running. As the second-largest consumer market, with the biggest middle-income population, China continues to unlock the potential of consumption, which turns more and more China's demands into opportunities for the world. As China's economy is driven by new quality productive forces, new techniques, products, and business formats emerge at a faster pace. which help countries share the benefits of technology. China firmly upholds the rules-based multilateral trading regime, advances trade and investment liberalization and facilitation, and makes the pie of common development bigger. China honors its commitment to high-standard opening up and continuously foster a pro-business environment that is market-oriented, law-based, and world-class, so as to help foreign businesses benefit more from every percentage point of China's economic growth. China stands ready to work with all parties to uphold true multilateralism, jointly oppose various forms of unilateralism and protectionism, diffuse risks, address challenges, and promote universally beneficial and inclusive economic globalization.
News agency.
台费社，西班牙首相桑切斯正在访问中国，而现在中美贸易战还在持续。中方认为西班牙和欧盟可以在缓解这种紧张方面发挥什么作用，以及在加强和亚洲的经济联系方面能发挥什么作用。
昨天李强
Premier Li Qiang and the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, had a telephone conversation yesterday, sending a positive message to the world. Both China and the EU are advocates of economic globalization and trade liberalization, and firm defenders and supporters of the WTO. The two sides need to jointly safeguard free and open trade and investment, keep the global industrial and supply chain stable and unimpeded, and provide more stability and certainty to the economy of both sides and the world. Spain is an important economy in the EU. It is also an important cooperation partner of China in the EU. A China-Spain relationship enjoying strategic stability and committed to open cooperation and mutual benefit is conducive to the improvement and growth of China-EU relations. Next one, please.
Thank you. Another one from AFP.
法新社，泽连斯基总统称，乌克兰有更多的证据表明，有更多的中国公民加入俄罗斯军队在乌克兰作战。那么，中方是否清楚他们为什么会参军？乌方是否就此向中国提出交涉？ Such claims have no basis. In fact, China's position on Ukraine crisis is very clear and is widely recognized by the international community. The Ukrainian side needs to view correctly China's effort and constructive role for the political settlement of the Ukraine crisis. As to whether both sides had a communication, I have no information to offer on this. Next one, please.
Thank you. Question from Reuters. Why hasn't China announced any additional countermeasures to the latest?
那么，针对美方最新征收的关税，中方尚未宣布反制措施，是不是意味着中方会寻求和美方进行谈判对话？
I have already answered this question. We will continue to take firm, resolute measures to safeguard our legitimate rights and interests. As for the dialogue you mentioned, if the U.S. really wants to address issues through dialogue, it should take the attitude of equality, respect, and mutual benefit. But right now, the U.S. is still abusing tariffs on China, pursuing maximum pressure, and China firmly opposes and never accepts such bullying and hegemonic acts. Next one, please.
Thank you. I have another question with regard to China's position on Ukraine. The Ukrainian Foreign Minister, Andriy Sybiga, has said
乌克兰外长称，这次捕获中国战俘损害了中方声称维护和平、寻求止战的这种 立场，你对此有何回应？ Like I said, China has upheld an objective and a fair position on the Ukraine crisis, and this is very clear. We have been committed to ending the conflict and promoting peace talks. This is very clear to the international community. The Ukrainian side should correctly view China's effort and constructive role for the political settlement of the Ukraine crisis.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any other questions?
Thank you. Question from Reuters. Sources tell Reuters that the
administration is considering softening its proposed duty on China-linked goods.
那么，有消息人士称，特朗普总统正在考虑软化其对中国船舶收取费用的政策，因为业界做出了反对。
Multi-million-dollar fees for Chinese-built ships resulting in U.S. ports will be implemented. What is the foreign ministry's comment
那么，
on this softening of
外交部对于美方就涉华船只征收费用软化的这一个立场？
We have already made clear China's position earlier, imposing tariffs on ports hurts not only itself but also others. It drives up the costs of shipping and disrupt the stability of global economy and increase inflationary pressure of the U.S. and hurts the U.S. interests and will not make the U.S. industry prosper. And we urge the U.S. to correct its wrong decision, and we will take measures to safeguard our rights and interests. Next one, please.
Thank you, Reuters. The U.S. National Counterintelligence and Security Center
美国反情报中心称，中方利用欺骗性的手段来试图雇佣美国政府前雇员，那么可能还伪装成智库还有咨询公司等方式来试图招雇这些人士。中方对此有何回应？
我不了解。
I'm not familiar with the situation you mentioned. I have to point out the U.S. has never stopped its espionage activities on China and has conducted surveillance and espionage against its allies. On the one hand, it conducts surveillance around the world. On the other, it labels other countries of espionage. China firmly opposes such irresponsible remarks and deeds. Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any other questions? This is the end of today's press conference. Thank you.